y'all get this thing together. Man, we trying to do a show, man. I'm gonna whoop your ass before the show is over, man.
You can't do it, brother. You gotta run like a chicken. Like the way your son ran, bro. I'm gonna run after your ass and catch you.
Hey, man.
One of the softest I've ever seen in my life. Like, literally. Like, he get up here and bark. He talk. He make excuses. Oh, you know I won this. Oh, you know I won that. Come on, man. Like,
Shit, that's just like when you believe that you want cheese on that burger. You know what you looking for. Hell yeah, I feel like I won, Dan. Come on.
Watch your mouth, bro. Watch your mouth. What's going on, everybody? Good morning. Want to welcome Dez to the stream.
What's up? What's up?
What's up, Dez?
What's up, man? Good morning.
Nothing, man. I'm gonna get MJ. We're gonna get this popping. I'm gonna call MJ. I just got a text from Ali. I guess they got some type of power outage or whatever. But hey, we rolling, man.
Yeah, let's get it.
Gotta get this show rolling.
Let's get it.
Got a lot to talk about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. So how was your week? Crazy?
Week was all right. Week was chills. Nothing too spectacular. It was okay. Same, Mo. How about you?
It's good.
Good weekend.
You just got to keep it moving no matter what.
Yeah.
You know how that go.
Yeah.
You from B-More. You know how that go.
Yeah, you know how I go right. Got to stay out the way. The weather just been crazy up and down, up and down.
Oh, yeah?
At least, it's been cold and hot.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. Man.
What's up, MJ? How you feeling, bro?
Feeling good, bro. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm going to go with the MJ quote. Another day above dirt is a good day.
Yes, sir.
That's all I got to say. Now, huh?
We're not on live, are we?
We live, brother. We live. We are live.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yeah, we ready to rock and roll, baby. I got a text. I just told Dez I got a text from Ali. I guess they have some type of snowstorm in Detroit. So wish him well. Hopefully he can join the show next week. But right now we rolling. And what we going to talk about right now is actually, let's recap last week. I'm going to start with you, MJ. Let's recap. What you think about that fight last week? I think it was one of the fights of the year.
Oh, you talking about the Neri Crazy 8 fight?
Yes.
Yes, sir. That fight lived up to its billing. And I saw your post. You were right on point, man. Those guys, man, they delivered an action-packed fight. Neither one willing to give quarter. I think it was, in the end, the classic case of what they say, styles make fights.
Yep.
And Neri, he had more of the classic boxer and speed style versus Hovnanian's more puncher, aggressive, and relentless attacking style.
Right.
And in this instance, speed kills. The speed from Neri was just too much for Crazy 8 to deal with in the end.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking like, wow, that chin. And like, matter of fact, Dez said it. Dez was like, that chin of Neri is what saved him because Crazy A was coming hard. And I mean, he was swinging for the fence. I thought
punches, they weren't straight punches, you know what I mean? They were, a lot of arm punches, a lot of wide punches.
Right.
And, those punches are less effective than, obviously those straight, short, quick shots that Neri delivered. So I thought that was the difference.
Yeah, what'd you think, Des?
Like you said, man, I'm glad that you pointed that fight out. I'm glad I got to see that fight. Action packed fight. Definitely gonna be fight of the year, even though it's early in the year. We already know that's gonna be fight of the year. That's gonna be up there. But man, like I said, great fight. I'm gonna call Hova Sanya Hova because it sounds a little cooler. So I'm gonna call him Hova. I'm gonna call him Hova. But man, that was a good fight. Up until that round, the fight was back and forth. All fight. I think up until that round when Neri landed a left hand was changed the fight. I think that might have been round 8, if I believe. He knocked him down with that left hand. Up until then, Hova could have been maybe slightly winning or probably could have been tied going into that round. That left hand actually changed the whole fight because after that, Neri got back on what he was doing well was boxing, shoulder rolling, you know. And I think that knockdown really took a lot out of Hova. Like I said, before that knockdown, I think about 3 rounds up until then, Hova was actually stepping on the gas. I had him win about the maybe 2 or 3 rounds right before that, getting back into the fight, maybe even winning the fight. So the momentum was definitely shifting into Hova's favor. And I thought Neri might have been running out of gas. When that left hand came, man, he connected with that. And after that, it was like, you know, he got back to doing what he did well. And then, as we saw, he hurt Hova, and he stopped the fight. Even though, when I first saw the stoppage, I thought it was a bad stoppage at first, because as we seen, both of them guys were taking a lot of shots at first, and so I thought it was a bad stoppage at first. But then when I saw the replay, I did see he was out on his feet a little bit. And there he probably would have landed another shot, probably would have got him out of there. So I wouldn't have stopped the fight, but after seeing the replay, it was a pretty good stoppage. But, man, excellent fight. Great fight, man. It was like action-packed from like 1 all up until it ended. So great fight, though.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this, guys. I really respect Crazy A. I think he had a great game plan for his style. I think he made 2 mistakes in that fight, and that was when he had Neri hurt. He kind of lacks a little bit, and I think his style is punching people out, and he maybe thought he might get him a next round or so, but Neri has kind of got a chin, and he's a classical boxer with foot movement, and like you said, that left hook, that changed the game, and, you know, from there, Crazy A never recovered. And I respect the ref, because a lot of refs would have called it off, but they let Crazy A get back up and go 1 more round.
Exactly,
but I heard Sergio. I think Sergio and the guy who was calling the fight, I think they said they had Crazy A up at the time, and I thought Crazy A was going to either get a unanimous decision or a draw, like you said. But he fought his ass off, and like MJ said, I said I'm gonna start doing fight of the month, because every fight can't be fight of the year. We don't know, but to this point, that's fight of the year. And I want to. I mean, would you be in agreement, Des, that would be definitely fight of the month?
Man. Fight of the month is a good idea, man. But definitely fight of the month easily, man. Because like I said, you had the back and forth action there, and like I said, you had one fighter looking like he was about to take control of the fight. It was late. Don't get me. It was going towards the later rounds, and Hova just looked like he was stepping on the gas. You know, I don't know if Neri might have got a little. I ain't gonna say he got a little tired, but maybe maybe the punches was accumulating a little bit on him. But like I said, he got like great chin, man, because Hova was hitting him with some good shots. He was hitting both each other with some good shots earlier.
Right.
And, yeah, man, the momentum was shifting. That knockdown shifted the whole complete fight. So he was saved by that, by the left hand.
Yeah. I think I definitely got to do something where we give people fight of the month or something like that, because we don't know what happened later in the year. But I don't think there's anything on top of this. They canceled our boy Broner this week. Which I'll lead into the next section. I'll let you start on that. Well, I'll bring it up, and then I'll let you start on the Des, and I'll let MJ elaborate on it. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be any other fight. Did you catch that before we go on? Did you catch that Laura Wood replay by any chance? You, MJ, either? That was the fight on earlier on the zone.
Dang, no, I didn't catch the early fight.
Did you catch that one, MJ, or no?
No, I didn't catch that.
No, so it was. It's no big deal. It was a championship, but it's this kid named Laura, and then Lee Wood is a guy they pushing real big in the UK. He was
Larry Londa, right?
No, it's a different Laura.
Okay. They like
Laura.
Okay.
Yeah, they like 122 or 126. They smaller weight classes.
Okay.
Maybe even one. I can't remember, but it was for a world title. And Lee Wood is the UK guy that Eddie Hearn is trying to push, and he got dropped at home and he got beat. So that's that exactly. That's all that was. And Laura taking the title back to Mexico. But to my AB focus. So last week on that undercard, guys, of Crazy A versus Neary, they had a fight, and one of the first fights was, I think they were 160. I think they were 160 and 168. But the point I'm trying to make, fellas, is the guy literally was called in that Friday, and he ended up fighting that Saturday. And when I heard that, I thought about both of y'all, and it went through my head. I say, see, this is the damn stuff I'm talking about. You got to go forward with that card, because when you cancel that whole card because these fighters pulled out, that shows you. And even Oscar came along later and said something like, look, that's part of boxing. You got to have replacement opponents on speed dial. Some other YouTubers say, hey, a lot of these promoters, they got guys in Guatemala, Argentina, man, they got third world promoters that they don't tell nobody in case somebody try and do some slime ball stuff or to make sure it goes on. Because number one, you got employees to feed. People still got to eat. All them fighters that was on the undercard, they still got to eat. And you can't just scrap the whole card like that. UFC, how many times y'all seen UFC main event, this guy happened on fight night, but then they found a way to keep it going?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
So it's exactly. So if you are, and then I know they was talking about Peterson, Lamont Peterson's younger brother fighting Broner. I don't know why they didn't make that happen. So the point I'm trying to make is when you get in this boxing game, number one, they ain't going to make it easy. We know our sport has a lot of greasy stuff behind the scenes. Number three, no matter what, that show card has to go on. Adrian Broner is that big of a name that he is going to bring entertainment there. You could have found somebody in Canada, Mexico, Argentina, somewhere, and every single boxing commission in the world, in our country, is going to give you some type of emergency declaration because they understand when you make money or you put on a show, they make money.
So what do you think? Can you attribute this to, Corey? Do you think this is a matter of BLK Prime not being ready for prime time, them not having the bankroll to keep fighters on standby, just being novices in the game? What do you attribute it to?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of behind the scenes stuff because Roy Jones Jr. did say in one of his quotes, I definitely don't think that what's his name was ready. I don't think that this Williams Jr. was ready and he thought AB was really going to hurt him. But at the same time, you got to remember there's a time that they didn't want Al Heyman to get in the game, guys. There's a time they didn't want Oscar De La Hoya to get in the game. There's a time they didn't want Eddie Hearn to bring the zone over here and get in the game and mess up the boxing money. Boxing, a lot of times they've tried to put a monopoly on it. So there's a combination of both. But if you're going to come into this game of this sport, you got to know they ain't going to make it easy. What did they do guys, the first time around with the XFL? Did it work out or did they try and get rid of that crap real quick?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely don't like competition.
Yeah, and now the XFL is coming around for the second time, and you got this other thing that's coming around. So my thing is, and this is my big thing, Dez and MJ, this is what drove me crazy. It happened to you twice already. You've seen the manager in the promoter game they played with Red Catch, and that they played with the other guy, my man from South Philly, Hank Lundy. So if you seen they did that, when you get a third opponent, you're supposed to be like, man, I'm gonna have a third opponent and some more. MJ, before I hand it off to Dez, me and you talk personally. When something happened to you on the low, what do? You don't sit there and say, oh, I'm gonna put $50 away. Or I'm gonna put $20 away this time. You say, nah, I ain't saying nothing. I'm putting a whole $1,000 away because I don't know what they're gonna do next time if they did it to me twice.
You gotta have contingencies, man. You gotta have contingencies, and there's a term that we use in the IT world. You gotta have disaster preparation, right? Because obviously losing a card is a disaster.
It's a disaster.
You don't want your whole card to go down because of one fight. Right. So if you don't have disaster recovery in place, and you're not mitigating for these circumstances. That shows, like I said, either you're novices, you don't know what you're doing, you haven't been here before, or potentially you just don't have the cash flow
Right.
to keep fighters in the pipeline like that.
Exactly. Something. And fighters in third world countries are cheap. Dez, your opinion on it? I'll be right back. Go ahead, Dez. Elaborate on your opinion.
No doubt. I agree with you, man. I just think they're just like a novice company right now, and they just basically dropped the ball on the fight, man. And like I said, when his opponent dropped out last week, we was talking about it last week. I'm like, man, that card is going to get forwarded. When that happened to the fighter for the third time, and like I said, we talked about last week. I'm like, they're going to cancel that card. They're not going to be able to find nobody that fast, because if he could find somebody that fast, he would have did it did it too for the other fighters, for the other fights. So I guess that they're a novice company. He definitely dropped the ball. He wasn't prepared for all these dropouts. And yeah, man, he just dropped the ball on that. He got to get together a little better, but I believe they'll bounce back. Like you said too, man. These new companies just gotta be more prepared. And maybe there was a cash flow, maybe they didn't have it, but hopefully we get that fight in the near future soon.
Yeah, let's hope so. Because, like I said last week, man, we want a variety of platforms to be able to bring us, good boxing matches. We don't want one or two or three platforms dominating this sport. We want the competition among the promoters and the managers as well, because that is good for boxing. That forces other entities to step up to the plate and match. And this may have been the case. I don't know. Hopefully Crawford and Broner, they got their money up front, so they didn't have to suffer financially because of the mismanagement from BLK Prime. But make no mistake about it, this is a horrible look. It's a horrible look for a new company right out the gate to have to deal with stuff like this.
Word up.
Exactly.
Word up. Yeah. Go ahead, Des.
I was just about to say, yeah, they're only a couple months in, and they already got to cancel a card. Like, like you said, man, that the people that the other fighters on the card, they're not eating. It's definitely a bad look. But I'm definitely rooting for them. Like MJ said, we need more diversity in the companies, get more fighters out there. More fighters will be able to be more fighters will be able to get seen with other more promoters and companies out there. So hopefully they bounce back, get their money together, whatever they need to do, and they start bringing these fights, because we would like to have them around,
Yeah, right. Absolutely. And one last thing, Corey.
Go ahead, babe.
I just wanted to say this about these streaming platforms, man. It's a shame that Nuri Hovhannisan fight was on the zone, man, because nobody saw it.
Yo, I said that. You saw my video, right, MJ?
Yeah, I saw it.
I said, yo, if we going pay money for pay-per-view, all right, I ain't gonna pay $70. I might not pay $50, but damn it, I'll pay Oscar $30 if he put this on the zone pay-per-view or Fight TV. But I'm damn.
They're greedy. These people are greedy, man. They're greedy. Because you think about this, even in the underworld, in the streets, man. Look, when somebody has a product and they know their product's good, what they gonna do? They gonna put their product out there for a minimal, if not free, to let people, get a sample of it, see that it's legit, and then they get their money on the back end. After, they've generated a lot of positive buzz and people are talking about their product. And the same can be applied in this instance with boxing, man. If you know you got good product, why not just allow your product for public consumption without charging people? And then, once you get your popularity up and you get people see that you got fighters like, Nuri and Hovhannisan, then you can say, look, you've seen these people perform, that what they're bringing, then you can charge. But, people, I I've yet to watch a full DAZN fight.
Yeah.
Not one. Not one. And I refuse, man, because like I said, these people are freaking greedy.
Yeah, they agree.
Greed prevents everything.
Yeah. That it's crazy, man. It's absolutely nuts. You know, I like I said before, it's no way, it's no way, fellas, that you can and you know what? I'm gonna skip that. I'm gonna go to what MJ was saying about these people being like with the streaming platforms is what I'm trying to say. Is there a thing that just McDonald's guys? Do you just have only Burger King? Do you just have only Wendy's? No, because if you only got McDonald's, you only got Pathmark, you don't have Kroger, Pathmark, Acme, Piggly, Wiggly, Publix, Walmart, Meijer, wherever you live at in the country, if you ain't got all that, if you ain't got all that, then it leaves one story to be on some monopoly stuff and give you what they want to. And if they feel like not having good customer service, they cannot have it.
Exactly.
Now, and go ahead.
Push junk at you, and you pay for it.
Right. You got, you know, that's why them small towns, them same 10 stores, is still popping in them small towns. Because they understand what you're gonna do. You're gonna leave where you're gonna go to. But when you gotta have multiple stores, multiple streaming platforms, and here's my thing, guys, and we'll get into Showtime Boxing while we talk about this. Showtime Boxing, the rumors been they might go to Paramount Plus. They do. Showtime Boxing could have an easy ass recipe, Daz and MJ. They can stick at what they want right now, $10.99 a month. Right now, ESPN Plus it's like $6.99 if you get a bundle with Hulu and Disney Plus. But if not, I think it's $10. DAZN is like $20 a damn month. I forget what a BLK Prime is pay-per-view. Fight TV, I like it because with Fight TV, I can literally just pick what I want to buy if I want to buy it that weekend, whatever. That's what Floyd's fighting on today, Fight TV. Another instance, fellas, another big thing that's crazy, right? When you think about what they could do with Showtime, all they literally got to do is be like, let's put out Showtime Boxing. And then just so y'all see them come up with this idea later, make sure y'all remember we said it on this damn show first.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, you can charge people $10.99. Have a boxing match twice a month at minimum. It ain't got to be the biggest. It could be Showbox cards and then maybe one well-named fighter. If y'all get 300,000 people, which you probably get more, if you get 300,000 people consistently, let's say 350,000 people, that's close to about 3.5 million a month, right? And at the end of the year, that's close to 40 million a year. Not quite 40 million, but somewhere close to 40 million a year, right? You could pay the fighters. It's so many places in this world that rent. These dumbass fighters don't need to be fighting at the Alamo Dome sometimes. Sometimes they need to be fighting at the Masonic Temple. That's why Jake Paul and them is getting money and doing well. Because they understand that, you know what, sometimes you got to fight at the Masonic Temple, damn it. You got to fight here, and you can broadcast everywhere right now. During the daytime, fellas, they can get one podcast, whether it want to be ours or somebody they already want to hire, and they can run all the Showtime fights from the 80s on all day long, and then they have 1 30-minute hour every day that they run twice where they talk about what's the news in boxing every day. People will literally pay for that, Showtime Boxing by itself, and then every once in a while you can throw a hip-hop documentary in it with the channel or some BS. But you don't need the whole Showtime thing because not many people watch Showtime like they used to. Showtime, I remember they showed something on Showtime one time, guys, where they talking feminist stuff and they talking about cutting men's balls and all. It's like, yo, nobody's watching all this crazy, out of control political BS. We come here to watch boxing. We can deal with that stuff on a regular day at work or walking down the streets. But we come here to your hardcore fan base is hip hop guys and boxing right now. That's why all the smoke basketball's on there and everything. So if y'all literally just took $10, $11 and focused on boxing and built up names and paid them regular salaries, by the way, Crazy A and Neri deserved a big ass salary next week. I thought about y'all. They deserved all the money. They probably deserve more than what they got. But back to what I'm saying, they could just do that, guys, and that would change the game. That would totally change the game.
I agree with you, MJ. You might gotta pitch that to him, man. Seriously, that's good idea. I definitely agree with you on that.
Like
100%. No question. And I think what we're seeing a reaction to the shift in media consumption, right? Back in the day, cable ruled. Everybody had to be on a cable platform in order to get their product out.
right.
But now it's shifted to streaming. And, people are no longer just sitting at home or in front of televisions or in bars in front of television now. They can stream on pads. They can stream on phones. They can, pretty much stream on any Wi-Fi connected device. So the greed forces those cable entities like Showtime, like you see HBO doesn't even have boxing anymore.
Yeah, they went out. But the thing is, they went overboard with something and they seen it didn't work. And I see that so much, MJ. We got to push this political part, even if it bankrupts us. And then all of a sudden you'll see the stuff like you had at Google where they just cutting a bunch of engineers. And that's why I just say to people, why don't you just say what's right in the first damn place? Why don't you just stick up for what's right in the first place? Because in the long run, the people that really run stuff, when it comes time to cut costs, they're like, all right, we tried this agenda, this, now we're going to cut costs and we're going to do what we got to do to stay rich.
Straight up.
So why play the game? You know who consumes Showtime. I guarantee you 50% of Showtime subscriptions right now are because people watch boxing. Right now, 50% of them, I guarantee you. A couple people watch, but Showtime is not the movie stuff. I caught a couple things on there I like the little Uber thing where they talk about how Uber came about. The Roger Ailes thing where the Fox dude who created Fox News. Like, it's a couple little shows I see here and there, but some of them are just corny because you can tell it's somebody behind it. They got a political agenda. Every once in a while, they got the hip-hop shows with mass appeal like Nas had with the Wu-Tang joint. But a lot of the stuff is just like the shows that they're actually trying to push is, like, for example, y'all see 50 Cent got Power. Then he got the BMF situation. And that made people go to Stars. Outside of Stars, outside of that, ain't nobody really going to Stars for no damn reason. That's why Stars start putting on hip hop. You got to get with your audience, and you got to stop trying to appease somebody who don't want to live in reality. I don't give a damn how much money they got to say, all right, we can put that money towards it. But if that ain't what people buying, then I ain't gonna keep on putting that in. I'm gonna put money into this damn platform, what I know people want to see.
Exactly.
Sports has to be one of the most dominant categories on Showtime's platform. No question.
Even with the Bellator. So
Yeah.
back to that, fellas. Okay, so we covered that. And now that we're talking about PBC and Andy, we'll go to Andy Ruiz here in a minute. But I want to talk about this. I want to say this is a boxing show. And shout out to my man H Money. He got his own boxing platform. He's in the comment section this morning. This is a boxing channel. And the reason I started this channel, because I seen so many people, fellas, they got a YouTube channel. And for literally the last 5 years, since 2017, they've been talking about 4 damn fights or 4 fighters, maybe 5. That's it. Just in a couple weeks, we start this. We cover everything. Everything. And I know we talking about Canelo, and Ali's not here this week. He can talk about it. And this ain't even about Canelo. I remember some of them people who hated Canelo so much tried to say that he was cherry picking by fighting Dimitri Bivol. And I told people, this is how I know y'all don't know shit about boxing. And I don't know, both of y'all brothers from Baltimore, I don't know if they were smoking that good stuff. That your man, Bark, I don't know what his real name is, but I know it's a real dude that they named after Avon Barksdale on the wire. I don't know if they talking about, they smoking the shit that they were serving back in the 80s or the stuff that the Junior Black Mafia was doing in Philly in the 80s or BMF was out in Detroit where Ali was at. But you got to be smoking some good stuff to try to say that Dimitri Bivol was a cherry pick. I even said, whoa, this is a harder fight than Demetrius Andre. And I'm not trying to be funny. And Demetrius Bivol will beat Demetrius Andre the hell up in Charlo up. That dude can fight.
Yeah,
And he got an iron chin.
Yes, he can.
I'm just being realistic with it. And I don't understand what people are like watching. And that's why I brought that up to say this is just a PSA. We watch all boxing. So a lot of these channels got hundreds of thousands of subscribers, guys. They ain't even cover the Crazy A fight. Neary fight. Hell of a fight.
That's crazy.
There's other fights they ain't even cover. You know what I mean? It's so many topics, and I'm just sitting there saying, like, this is a real boxing show. We cover it all. Yeah. We're not just going to cover I Love Tank and then talk about 400 million theories on the Earl Spence versus Mother effing Terrence Crawford thing for 5 years.
Right.
It's just getting out of control. Either they're gonna have the damn fight or they ain't.
Right.
Yeah, have a fight and then we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. But I just wanted to get that covered. Like, this is a real boxing show. We talking about all boxing, the business, the opponents, United Kingdom, Australia, mother effing Malaysia, Indonesia, this Colombia. We don't care if it's a good fight and they ranked and we know shit about it. We gonna speak on it.
Yeah, man, I like how diverse it is too. Like I've noticed that from the jump. Like, man, we done covered a lot of fighters, you know, and like you said, a lot of people ain't even know that Neri and that Hova fight was even on, and that is a great fight. And I feel like a boxing fan should have seen that fight, you know.
Yeah.
But like I said, you got a lot of casual fans too, though. I mean,
That's what it is.
Boxing is a sport where you get a lot of casuals. You know, it's not something that everybody has a big name and things like that. So it's like most of the fans are gonna be casual. They're only gonna be looking for the big fights. Canelo, back in the day, this was Floyd. I know a lot of my friends only watch Floyd fights.
Right.
You know, so it's a sport where a lot of the fans are casuals. They only going, but you know, I like the show. We gotta give the other fighters some love too, man. And then they're good fighters too. So yeah, man, we're gonna cover it all on here, definitely.
It's like y'all boy Tank out there in Baltimore. MJ and Dez, like your boy Tank. He bring out everybody. That's why Tank is what he bring out the casual. It's an event to go to. Exactly. But outside of that, after Tank, me and you we gonna be talking about the dude that was on the undercard as the co-main event when he just got a regular Showtime card.
Facts. Yep.
Hey Corey, before we leave this topic, this Canelo topic, and you brought up the boogeyman in the room in a lot of instances, which is my man Boo Boo.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh, we're gonna talk about him too. We're gonna talk about this business decisions in a minute, but go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of, you know, veggie back on that whole Canelo's ducking Andrade, and I'm going to say that I'm kind of leaning in that camp, and not just him ducking Andrade, him ducking a lot of the brothers, like there's no reason why he shouldn't have fought one of them Charlo brothers. That he shouldn't have fought Harrison. He should, like, even Andrade, he should have fought one of those cats, man, because those cats have pedigree, they have belts, they're champions, right? And I thought in boxing, there was a lot of times it was about collecting straps, man. You know what I mean? I'm trying to beat the best. You got your belt. I want it. You know what I mean?
You know what's funny, MJ? They interviewed Canelo after that, after he did that business with PBC and he beat Caleb Plant. And they asked him, who you going to fight next? And he said probably Charlo or Bivol or Charlo. I'll find the interview and I'll try and bring it up next week. And I think what happened, and I ain't making excuses, I think he lost to Bivol. He thought he was going to go Bivol, then go back to PBC. Bivol beat him. And I think that's when he said, all right, let me go get this easy-ass money in Mexico City. They've been saying they want me to whoop Triple G for the third time. Let me go ahead and whoop Triple G. His old ass 40. This is an easy 50, 60 million for me. So let me go back to that and then divert back. I think that's what happened with that situation, because you're right. There's no reason for him not to fight Charlo.
Agreed.
No question. And then Andrade was on the zone, right? He was at the zone.
That's the stuff I be talking about, MJ, with Andrade. And you know what? Since we on Andrade, we'll go to the Andy Ruiz subject next. Let's all just stay on that Demetrius Andrade subject. Demetrius Andrade, fellas, has made some of, and I like the brother, but he's made some of the most nut-ass decisions on the planet Earth when it comes. That's what I'm saying. When it comes to business and to boxing. First, he was with the HBO and he got dropped by Montez Fox, and he finished that fight and he ended up winning. And he was doing a thing with HBO, some type of side promoter. Then he signed with Jay-Z's Rock Nation Sports or whatever, beef with them. Then he ends up suing them. Then he's inactive again for 2 years, like he has been a bunch of times in his career. And then he goes over and fights Jack Klughley or Clakley, somebody overseas in like Germany.
Yeah,
Keeley. He beats him. He brings the belt back. He signs with the Zone. When he signs with the Zone, he's supposed to fight Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders test for the drug test or whatever. That fight never happens. He gets the belt or whatever. Some BS happens. He never had the Eubank Jr. fight, what I think would have been a good fight for him. That never happened. That would have been UK money. Then Billy Joe Saunders, he has the following, he has the money. Canelo's like, all right, this is an easy payday. Let me bring this boy over here from London. Let me whoop his ass in front of these people in Texas and in front of like 70 to 100,000 fans at the AT&T Stadium. Then that happens, and then Andre is going around chasing Canelo. As y'all see me, I played it last week. You want payday? I know that. You know what I mean? Like, everybody knows that. Here, I'll play the clip real quick while we. Now, I would not let nobody talk to me like that. And I feel like if Boo Boo was on his game, fellas, and MJ, you was passionate about it, so I'm going to go to you next, and I'm going to let Dez finish this session off with his opinion. If you so passionate about it, you should be going out, whooping people, getting belts, building a name for yourself, kind of like AB did, kind of like Gervonta did. So is the where if Canelo don't fight you, he look like a sucker, but you still can get your money to be like, I'm a pay-per-view, I'm a star, I got my thing. Lastly, fellas, before I pass this over, this dude had a fight with one of the Charlo brothers on Showtime 2014. I'll send both of y'all the article this week. He pulled out a week before the damn fight. And since then, Al Heyman really ain't F with him, and the Charlo's like, nah, you have money. And at that time, that was his biggest, most humongous payday at the time. That would have been the most he made. And I think it would still be more than whatever he made at the Zone when he was there. That was his biggest payday.
No question. That was suspect. I remember that scenario playing out back in the day. But let me just say that this brother lives up to his nickname. He's Boo Boo, man. Boo Boo, unpredictable, right? You know, anybody who got a Boo Boo in their family knows you can't predict what a Boo Boo is going to do, right? That's why they Boo Boo. And Andre, he fights like Boo Boo. He can look like a world beater at times, and then other times he look like he ain't even interested in fighting. Like he's somewhere else. And this is what makes him compelling. This is what makes me want to watch Boo Boo fight. Because Boo Boo, Boo Boo, he might get knocked down. Yeah, he gonna get caught with a shot. Boo Boo is gonna walk in with his hands down by his waist. Boo Boo is going to do Boo Boo things. And I don't know who his team is. I don't know who's running his career. But I want to see Demetrius Andrade fight the best at 160. I want to see him get in there and show the world the type of skills he got. Because this dude is a superior athlete, man. When I see some of the movement, the way he's able to stand in the pocket and not go nowhere and not get hit. I mean, I love his style. It's just, he's Boo Boo.
Yeah.
Word up.
MJ, I agree with you, man. His early moves in his career were definitely not smart. Like, getting dropped from Rock Nation and all that. Then in the activity for years, like, if you try to make a name for yourself, you gotta fight. Like, I hate when fighters take these years off because he feeling a certain way about business or anything like that. Just go out there and fight, dude. I mean, you're talented. Just go out there and fight. And in his defense, he was saying a lot of things about the Zone. He was saying the Zone wasn't really pushing his fights like that. He was trying to get the big fights.
He was, and that's what made me sad, Des. It's like you going into there begging Canelo for a fight, and then Eddie Hearn right there next to him, and he ain't giving him. That lets you know what's really going on, dude.
Exactly. So it was like, he was trying to get the fights in. Now at Showtime, he's talking the right game. He's saying he's trying to get all the big fights. Of course, he still wants Canelo. And the backtrack on the Canelo thing real quick. I think he was the mandatory for Canelo at 160 at one point in time. And
I'm sure
Canelo
he did.
wound up, huh?
Yep, I'm sure he was. And then Canelo went up to 168.
And Canelo could have went undisputed about fighting him. And I think Canelo wound up vacating the belts and moved up, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, he went up to 168 and went undisputed. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that could have been a big fight for him. If he fights him, if Canelo fights him, they were saying that it was singing a different song about Boo Boo, because that would have been a big fight in his career. We would have said he's making the right moves. But over here at Showtime, just hope he gets some fights. Because like I said, like MG said, man, he's a great athlete, great fighter. He's talking like he wants the big fights. He's got his mindset on Charlo right now. Heavy. He's been name dropping Charlo every time I watch interviews on. He's been name dropping Charlo a lot. So he wants Charlo right now, and then he's talking about possibly the winner out of Benavidez and Plant, because the way I think so too. I think Benavidez wins that fight. And I think Canelo doesn't even fight Benavidez. I think he's going to vacate.
You've been saying that, Dez. I think at some point he's gonna have to get pressure, and he's gonna have to fight him.
He's gonna have to get pressure. He's gonna have to get pressure to fight him. But I think he'll wind up vacating. And I think maybe Andre and Benavidez can fight for that WBC if that doesn't happen.
Because that was the pressure, Dez, they put on Canelo when it was Triple G. When Triple G was the boogeyman, they kept putting pressure on him, and then he was like, "Effing, I ain't scared of this dude."
Exactly. Then he wound up finally you gotta really pressure. But at the same time, Canelo's trainer already said that black fighters are hard to train for. They don't really want to get in there with no black fighters.
That's slick and can move.
That's slick. Exactly. That's why they've been ducking Charlo.
Well, I think that's another reason why he tried to fight Billy Joe Saunders too, because he was kind of that version, but he ain't had that power.
He ain't had no chin or that rhythm. Like black fighters' rhythm are just different, know. So it's like I think he's shying away for those fights a little bit. And like you said, MJ, you just got to pressure Canelo. Like, stop making him vacate titles when he got mandatories. But when you reach that kind of status, you actually can kind of do what you want. So that's what he's been doing, getting those easier fights. Yeah. But back to Boo Boo. I think he's learned in the game. He's gonna make a better decision in his career, and I think Showtime be able to give him these fights. So we should start seeing him in these big fights soon, though.
Yep. And you got anything to say on that, MJ?
No, I agree with everything Des said. I've been hearing the same thing about the potential of a Benavidez Andre fight as well, and let's hope it comes to fruition, because I think that would be a fantastic fight.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so and I don't disagree with y'all. He could be ducking and doing what he, but at the same time, when you got that money, you can do what you want to do. At this point.
Yeah,
he's in a boxing Hall of Fame. He was probably like, man, I can fight this dude I want. My biggest beef was Demetrius Andrade as a black fighter. Stop running in the damn press conferences, begging somebody, chasing somebody to fight you, because that's not what y'all Dez, MJ. That's not what y'all man did, and y'all know this. Y'all both from B-More. That's not what your man did from B-More. He made a name for himself, and now you got to come fight Tank. He's the star. You build your fan base up where it's like, yo, I don't need your nut ass anyway. Exactly. But if you want to come get busy, we can come get busy.
Right,
sir. Yes, sir. Sounds done.
Yeah, but you chasing them around for a check, it looks bad on you and or your fourth. Even, and I'm in the middle. Even the pro-black channels, the Mexican channels, the ones that's in the middle, like me, that cover all boxing, they all saying like, "Boo Boo, you just make we're not going to deny Canelo's ducking you the higher that you say it or you don't believe. You've made some bad business decisions. So financially, if you got a bag like Canelo, you saying to yourself like, what is this? What does this benefit me?
Like you said, Canelo has put the work in to make those decisions. Like he's he's on top right now, so he's definitely put in the work, and he can make decisions like that. But at the same time, as fans, we want to see those legacy fights. I think Canelo was in his career where he's not. I think he thinks his legacy is set. I don't really think he's that fond of making those tough legacy fights. He has to prove me wrong. I mean, we'll see. After Benavidez and Plant, we're going to the pressure's going to be on. After Benavidez and Plant, we're going to see how Canelo moves and stuff like that. But
Right.
as it goes for right now, I don't think he wants those tough legacy. He ain't trying to see them black fighters. That's what I'm gonna say.
Right. Well, yeah, and then at the end of the day, he looking at it like this too. It's like he like whatever. Like I don't. He ain't gonna try it if he don't want. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
but his legacy, he probably look at it like this too. Des, he like, all right, my losses are to Floyd Mayweather and Dimitri Bivol, the greatest, another future Hall of Famer, and then my draw was with Triple G. So it's like. He like you said, he's with legacy fights now because wherever if he says tomorrow I want to fight Demetrius Andrade in Texas, it's gonna sell out. If he say I want to fight some dude from UK, we never heard it's gonna sell out. So yeah, at this point, it's up to his legacy. And even now, if he quit right now, he'd probably still go into boxing.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a Hall of Fame, and like
so
no question about it. No question about it.
So it's up to him. But my thing is this, Des, and we'll switch to Andy Ruiz and PBC. You as Demetrius Andrade build your brand and build your name. So even if you never get the Canelo fight, people will sit back and be like, yeah, Andre would have whooped Canelo. Just like when I brought up the Triple G Andre Ward thing a couple weeks ago. Everybody agrees that Triple G didn't want none of that Andre Ward, and Andre Ward would whoop Triple G at 160 or 168.
I agreed with that too, yep.
So I just want Boo Boo to understand, yo, build your own legacy. Don't be running around here chasing no man for no fight. Build your fan base. Make them say, hey, you got to come see him if you really want that money fight.
Exactly.
If not, it's only going to hurt your legacy.
Yeah, don't be thirsty for the paydays. Like, yeah, build your brand, great fights, and then eventually it's going to come, And like I said, Canelo's not the only one out there. Like, if you go out there and fight one of those other big names at 168 and people see you, that's going to get you closer to the Canelo fight, So,
right.
Yeah, man, I agree with you.
Y'all man Tank, Ryan Garcia said, yo, I want to fight you. Tank ain't had to chase him. They had to come see Tank.
Yeah.
Like
that's how it goes. That's how it goes, man.
That's how it goes. Now, rumors, fellas, Andy Ruiz, well, it ain't rumor no more. Andy Ruiz, some people say he left. Some people say he was dropped from PBC or cut from their roster. He's fought 2 times since the Anthony Joshua rematch in 2019, and he's fought 2 guys over 40. Chris Arreola was 40. Luis Ortiz, everybody jokes around. They say he's damn near 50. So, because he's from Cuba. So, with that being said, fellas, I don't know what's going on because Wilder said he wanted more for the fight. It was a purse bid for him versus somebody that was an IBF eliminator. He pulled out of that, and I don't know. So I don't know. Where do y'all see Andy Ruiz's career going from here? Do you see him pulling a Berlanga, or do you see him, Matchroom? Like, what do y'all see next for him? Him and Wilder get on a different platform. And I want to say this before I go on. I see a lot of people in boxing, they go up and down. About 9 years ago, everybody was saying how great PBC was and they paying the fighters. Now, 8-9 years later, everybody's saying, oh, you got to leave PBC because it's all pay-per-view fights. I'm just in the middle. PBC is going to bring something to the table. DAZN's going to bring something. ESPN is going to bring something. Most importantly, when you got elite fighters at all the networks, just make them fight for the boxing fans.
Simple, man. Simple.
MJ?
Man, look, when it comes to Ruiz, I'm indifferent, and I'm gonna keep my comments brief because I don't put Ruiz in the same category as your Tyson Furies or your Wilders or any of the top super heavyweights. But Ruiz has been around for a long time, and he's been a perpetual opponent, right? He's a guy that for a long time, he was just the guy that other guys fought to get ready for their big fights.
Right.
And he just happened to luck up. He got in on a cancellation, and who's that? He beat Joshua.
Yeah, he beat AJ, and we all know AJ ain't got no chin. And I told y'all in Saudi Arabia, y'all see what AJ did. He had Usyk beat, and then the next round he just came out and pooped out. He didn't finish. So it's somewhere AJ's heart and chin that I don't like. Great guy, I think he's a good fighter, but he just lacks that last 10% of heart and chin that can take him to the top.
Exactly. So in my view, if Ruiz was smart, when he got that lucky title against Joshua, he should have went on ahead, got his movie deal, movie of the week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Underdog comes and wins title, all that, and just got out of the sport, man. Why continue to put yourself in the front? He doesn't have he doesn't have the athleticism and the physical tools to beat your top tier guy.
Did you see him lose all that weight though, MJ, when he fought forgot who it was.
And,
he was yeah.
And he put it right back on.
Right. Oh yeah, he did. He did.
Put it right back
Well,
on.
and I'm hoping that he saved that money because that second fight with Joshua that was in Saudi on the zone, he didn't go through PBC. I think Al Heyman was his advisor on that, but he got the majority of that purse because that wasn't through PBC. So he should have got a nice lump sum of change for that second rematch. So
yeah, but see, like Des was saying earlier, a dude like Ruiz, he's not going to attract the casual fan. He's only going to attract really, folks that are in his corner.
Southern California, maybe a couple Texas. Yeah.
Exactly. And like I said, I really don't have a whole lot to say about Ruiz. I respect his hustle, but at the same time, man, I want to see contending heavyweights. I don't want to see guys who are just holding on for paydays and shit like that.
So you think, where do you think this goes from MJ? Does he sign with somebody else? Because also Wilder said he wanted more for the Ruiz fight too. Does he go? Do they both go and fight on the Zone, ESPN Plus? Does that fight even happen? Where do you think is this? Like, where do you think is next? Like,
well, there's always going to be an outfit that can muster up a payday off of a name. Ruiz has somewhat of a name now in certain circles, so yeah, they could promote his fights in the West. They could promote his fights down, south of the border, and probably make good money off of the streaming and off the pay-per-view, whatever.
Right.
But in terms of like Des said earlier, in terms of the general boxing fans,
right.
He's not selling a whole lot of pay-per-views, man. Come on now.
Right, unless it's a big name. Yeah.
Yeah, unless he's fighting a big name, which we know is going to be one side.
Right. It's either going to be Wilder or Fury. So that being said, fellas. Right. Exactly. So that being said, you got anything else to elaborate on that, Des? Or you good? Turn your mute off, Des.
Sorry about that, fellas. Yeah, nothing too much to say. I'm gonna keep it brief on Reeves because I don't really know what's up. Well, I don't know what happened between him and PBC. He's a free agent now. I agree with you guys. He got lucky with that AJ fight. He was on top then. I don't see him really. I don't really know his plans, and I don't know if that Wilder fight is even gonna get made now. I don't know.
Right.
Both of them are looking for promoters now, right? So it's
right, that's what it sounds like. Yeah.
So that fight's probably not even going to happen now.
And that being said, I'm gonna go back one more time. Mm-hmm. That's what I said at the beginning. That's what these fighters don't understand is like, if you start barking at dudes saying I want more money and this and that and that, you got to remember Al Heyman, Bob Arum was looking suspect 8-9 years ago. Oscar De La Hoya, Eddie Hearn. These guys are in situations to continue to make money. So if it's going to cost them a headache and a pain in the ass, they'll cut your ass from the roster. Yeah, they'll find.
And I think that's what happened with PBC. They probably was complaining about the purses too much, complaining about that, and he got his ass up out of there, man. But yeah, I would keep it brief on Ruiz. Like, I don't really know where he plans on going from here, but I mean, he's a decent fighter. Like MJ said, I don't put him on the top echelons. It's not really a lot of heavyweights out there on top echelon, but he got quick hands. He did try to lose a little weight, like MJ said, he put it back on. But I would have liked to see the Wilder and Ruiz fight. They both came off W's. They both trying to get back to that, to getting those belts and heavyweights. I wouldn't have mind seeing that fight. So I was kind of disappointed it was off the table now. But it's just a lot of politics and boxing and Ruiz, man. We don't know what he's about to do from here, though.
Yeah. And Mike Tyson did something yesterday, but we got two more subjects and let's get out of here. I know we could talk all day, but That's what my subject is with Mike Tyson, fellas. Is like, yo, he was talking about the promoters and everything when he was going off yesterday at the Jake Paul press conference or a couple of days ago. And it's like my comment about PBC. These fighters are in, people like MJ said 1 week, it's capitalism, where you're in this stuff to make money. And I say this with the hip hop industry and everybody. Everybody say, oh, I got signed to this contract and I got played. And it's just like, yo, if you want all your money and you don't want no bullshit contract, you got to put in the work like Master P did, or like somebody else that was independent like Tech Nine, that's a hip hop. And you got to say, yo, I'm getting it out the mud. I'm getting it out of the dirt. Down here in Texas, fellas, as much as I love hip hop, me being from Philly, y'all being from B-More, me having cousins and family in NYC, up there, it's like, yo, I got to go get signed. I'm going to go down to Manhattan. I'm going to catch the train. I got to talk to Atlantic. I got to talk to, Def Jam, whatever. Whereas in Houston, they didn't take them serious like that in Texas. So they're like, all right, word. I'm going to start Suave House. I'm going to start Rap-A-Lot. I'm going to get it out the trunk. And by the time these big corporations who laughed at me and called me country said the shit they said to me, I'm going to be like, nah, I ain't signing with you. You can have a distribution deal with me, homie.
Mm-hmm.
And it's rappers down here in Texas, y'all wouldn't believe, with this screwed up click and this slow down music that got more money than some of your favorite rappers you grew up on, because they had to go through a big record label. But they can put out shit whenever they want. They got their own stores and they independent one. They get their cash. They sell, your main artist sell $3 million. They get their money. They'll sell $200,000 and get that money because they're gonna put in for $15 and they're gonna get $10 off of every record sale. What I'm trying to get across, fellas, is what fighters is like. Yo, Mike Tyson went off and he said the promoters work for the fighter, not the fighter. I love what Mike is saying. I know he had it rough, but the reality is this, Iron Mike, and I love you, brother. It's like this, man. If you want it to be like that, then you as the fighter, you got to go rent out the Alamo Dome. You got to go rent out so-and-so stadium. You got to pay everybody that's in attendance. You got to say, I got 50% on food and beverage and all other. So if the fighters think that the promoters work for them, that's fine. Then you as the fighter better put your money up front and say, all right, I'm renting this venue out. State Farm Arena, FedEx Forum. You got to put your money up. That's the part of it that they don't understand. I think we all agree fighters should get paid everything they can get. But when we start talking that stuff, saying the promoters work, and I agree, the promoters technically should work for the fighter, but the way he's saying that, like he should be paying the promoter, that's not how it's going to work until you get your ass up there and you start renting out FedEx Forum yourself.
Agreed. Yep.
MJ, I know you want to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm chomping at the bit with this one, baby, because I always refer back when it comes to Mike Tyson. And let me just preface this by saying Mike Tyson was one of the few athletes when I was a youth coming up that I actually paid attention to and would follow his career. Not many athletes can command my attention like that, so he obviously was special. But the late, great Patrice O'Neal, the comedian, said something on a Charlie Sheen roast. Most people probably haven't watched something like that. But Mike Tyson was actually on the Charlie Sheen roast as one of the roasters. Mm-hmm. And when Patrice O'Neal came up at the end of this roast, after everybody else had went, and Patrice O'Neal said this about Mike Tyson. He said, Mike, you're a hero of mine. I grew up watching you. I'm from, the tri-state area, and we love what you've done in the past. But the level of comfort that white people feel around you right now is kind of disturbing to me. People thought that he was joking, but he was dead ass serious, man. And to me, that sums it up about Tyson now. Tyson is, they still call Mike the baddest man on the planet, blah, blah, blah. But Tyson is a toothless tiger because Tyson is controlled by his purse strings. He's controlled by his money. And the trauma.
He got screwed out of a lot of stuff that would make him, so.
And I know this is a boxing show, man, but we touched upon the things that impact the boxers. You know what I'm saying? And outside of the ring, the trauma, a lot of times that these young men experience shapes and forms how they approach their careers.
Yeah.
It shapes and forms how they train. And we
Yeah.
know Mike's traumatic past, what he's been through.
Yes, he's been through a lot. Yeah.
He's been through a lot. To see Mike Tyson and Devin Haney sitting alongside of those Saudi sheiks, it was the most depressing thing that I saw all week, man.
But you know what it is, though, MJ? That's their religion.
And I get that.
And-
I get
and
all that. And I get that Arab money is very attractive. But these brothers do not know history. If you understand history, and I can speak on it because I was trained in that science. I was trained in the social science of historiography.
Right.
I've got degrees and shit in that. So Arabs were the first enslavers of Africans.
Right. And people, and when like you said, it's a boxing show, but the argument with them would be, and I'm gonna go, I'm just playing. Me and you, we tight, MJ. We talk. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. The thing with them is, though, a lot of them, their religion is Islam, and if you know Islam, a very important person in Islam was somebody named Bilal, and Bilal was the Prophet Muhammad. That was his companion. He was also known as a black slave. So if you read it the right way, it'll tell you that slavery was opposed by a long time ago, which is why you have so many black Muslims around the world, is because, they'll argue all day long about Jesus was white or black. But you go to Iran, you go to some of these Muslim countries where people look very light, like Syria. Matter of fact, Bilal is buried in Syria. They hold Bilal up very high. So, but I do know what you're saying about that slave trade thing.
I don't mean to cut you off, man, but look, people don't understand. Right now, Saudi Arabia, there's a country in Africa, in East Africa, called Yemen, right?
Yeah.
Do you know what is happening in Yemen? What has been happening for the last...
Oh, yeah. It's bombing. It's going back and forth. But I'm going to tell you something about Yemen people, though, bro. Then we going to go, because we go politics all. And we go politics all day. And MJ's a deep cat. And, but I'm going to tell you something about Yemen. And I know what you're saying. They've been bombing. They've been going back and forth. And Yemen are dark-skinned, very dark-skinned compared to a lot of people in that region. But I'll tell you a story. There's some Yemen people that come over here, MJ, and they'll try and be racist towards people like us. So I tell everybody, and it's something I'll never forget this. I was looking for a taxi job. It's about 10 years ago, and we talk about boxing and taxi drivers. Taxi drivers, there was some regular white dudes from the USA. It was a brother there, me. There was African dudes, there was some Arab dudes, and then there was some other dudes. And I base everybody on them. Even some of the Africans that come over here, they'll try and act funny towards MJ. And I'm with you. I'll be sitting there telling everybody, like, look, everybody that come over, this mother effer is treated good because of what we did, because of what we sacrificed. So if anybody got a problem with us or Native Americans specifically, because I got Native American deep in my history when I look at it, you're something damn wrong with you, because you couldn't even get treated well in your own damn country. And I'm talking about Africans and everybody else that come from anywhere else. The reason you treated with dignity and respect is because what the black people here in America did. And I'm going to leave it at that.
Facts.
Appreciate that. And I just wanted to make this last point, my brother, is that all money ain't good money. When you come from traumatic circumstances, when you do not understand the dynamics involved, and you think that the sole purpose, the sole objective is just to accumulate money without having any sense of where this money is coming from or how your accumulation of it is impacting the larger community, that is problematic. And you will never, ever, I can say this for certain right now, you will never see me in any of these countries in the Middle East giving them my dollars. You will never see me over there trying to get dollars from these people, because they have zero regard for you or your families. Their only objective is to use you to accumulate more wealth for themselves. I don't want any parts of it, and I don't like seeing other people being exploited like that.
Yep, and that's perfect. And here's the last argument. We'll go into this. The Devin Haney thing was an argument about him fighting in Saudi or fighting in New York. and everybody was saying it should be at Madison Square Garden. It should be at the Mecca. All right. So if it's supposed to be the Madison Square Garden or the Mecca, why don't we put the money up? Bob Arum, them, MJ, and Dez won't put the money up. But the Saudis are like, I will put the money up. And if you look at it, if over years they've been saying all these Americans that do right things for us, if that's your Muslim brother, they look at it like, okay, us as your Muslim brother, we're going to put the money up for you because these people over here are not putting up the money for you, and they know they do. That goes back to Americans and us being greedy too. ESPN got the money to put up what they want to have Lomachenko and Haney at the damn Madison Square Garden, but they ain't going to do it because they don't want to go into their pocket. See, back in the day, America would do that. They'd be like, no, this has to be American. Even when Floyd fought Manny was surprised. Even HBO commentators, all these other dudes, they were saying, nope, Floyd won in a landslide. He thinking they all going to be on his side, thinking that he won the fight, and they don't understand it. At the end of the day, they like, nah, we American. This is about having, and you lost, number one, but this is about having an American champ. We ain't going like that. It's not like that no more. So those two brothers look at it like this. They look at it like, okay, well, and this is the whole deep thing with Devin Haney. All these pro-black channels, MJ, they all talk about go support Devin Haney. Go see him fight. That damn fight against, what's his name? Not Valdez. What's his name? Jojo. What's his name? Jojo Diaz, maybe? Jojo Diaz, I want to say is who he fought. In Vegas, half the damn, I was there, MJ. Half the damn thing was empty. Only the lower bowl was packed. And then he got a 4-fight deal with his own. Whereas if he goes over there, I went over there and they got that big ass King Abdullah Aziz Stadium or whatever, and that thing is sold out, and they're gonna give him the money that they wouldn't give him. That's how people gonna look at it. So I 100% agree with you, MJ, what you're saying, but the other side, us as black people in general, gotta support each other. And can't make no excuses and be talking racism all the time. Put your money where your mouth is. Because if you don't, the other people will, and that's what happens every time.
I understand. Steve Harvey said it best. We black out here. I understand. We black out here.
So if he looking at it like my Muslim brother's gonna put the money up, they gonna support me, that's what's gonna happen. So we got to know history, like MJ said, but we also got to know bullshit when we see it too.
Good history lesson, fellas. I like that. Learn some shit just now. Real talk though.
Yeah, look, me and MJ might have to start a history podcast.
Yeah.
And just talk about history and politics.
Definitely.
That should have put CNN, MSNBC, all of them out of business.
Yeah,
No,
we need more education, man. We need more education.
We'll put all their ass out of business. Now after that good ass history lesson. And that good ass, back. And this is the thing about me and MJ. We can agree. If we agree or disagree, we can agree to disagree, and we still love each other and respect each other because we've both seen things that a lot of people have not seen or don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to say it on both sides. Now, let's talk about the subject I've been biting at the chops to talk about. Teofimo Lopez and his dad, T. Diddy. All right, so damn it. These dudes talk about, I want this guy. I'm the fuck. Give me Lomachenko. When he was getting ready to fight Lomachenko, if you look at it, go back to the Top Rank All Accesses, Teofimo is mad at his dad. He's upset with his dad. He's pissed off with his dad because he said, oh, I'm going to put you in the ring with Lomachenko. And I don't think he was ready for it, if you could see it. Then he beats Lomachenko, and he's saying, yeah, me and my dad, we had a rough this camp, and that was during the middle of COVID, whatever. They had up and down relationship. Then he gets Kambosos, and he says, we got J-Lo, and we got all the payday bull crap. We got purse bids we fighting for. Bob Arum ain't paying us, blah, 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 this and that. So they go through the whole Fight TV. They go through the whole Triller thing, which also hosts the Versus. That falls through, and then a year later, they end up fighting Kambosos at the Garden on the Zone. Y'all know what happened? Teofimo got his ass whooped by the Australian. Afterwards, T. Diddy saying, I think we still won the fight. Bob Arum's fault. It's the Zone's fault we lost. This, and that. Now, when we go to the next fight, they beat some guy. I forget who it was. And then they're saying, well, we done with 135, whatever. We just jumped up to 140. People want to see us at 140. So he wins the one fight and it was all right. And then he fights Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin is slick. I told everybody watch out because he's the last guy to fought Mikey Garcia. If you want to be real, he technically retired Mikey Garcia. Mike Garcia was a bad boy, trained by his brother, Robert. After that, they still talking. We want 140. What Teofimo Lopez's dad and his problem is this, and I said this afterwards. After he said, "Do I still got it?" After this last fight when he barely got, he got buzzed and he didn't know what to do. It kind of reminds me of the problem Adrian Broner. When Broner got buzzed by Maidana, now when he got hit hard, he kind of didn't let his hands go like he did early in his career. The only thing is AB got a militant chin and he don't hit the floor easy. So he's good in that. Teofimo Lopez, however, he's been put up on his pedestal, take over, and then somebody knocks the living shit out of him and he don't know how to get up off his ass and say, hey, this boxing, this is what come with it. Even Mike Tyson, he was saying that yesterday. A lot of these fighters, they get beaten, they say, forget it. No, the makes you great is bounce back. Muhammad Ali, bounce back. All our favorite fighters, Hitman Tommy Hearns, bounce back. Marvin Hagler, Marvin Hagler. Like, that's part of fighting. So T. Diddy, and this is my main point, fellas, T. Diddy and his damn son, their problem is I keep on trying to avoid and jump over. Dog, when you got whooped by Sandor Martin, your job was let me fight 4 top 10 opponents at 140. Let me get comfortable here. Let me start whooping on them. Not we want Josh Taylor. Because guess what? Now you go get Josh Taylor and Bob, and they don't understand Bob Arum and them in the back of their head, ESPN Plus, they're like, yep, once Josh Taylor get your ass out of here, you ain't going to be able to ask for no $1 million purses, homie. I don't care which one of y'all go for. Who want to go first on this one?
So you got Josh Taylor beating T.O.
Go ahead, Daz.
So can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So you got Taylor beating T.O. then, right?
If T.O.'s ass couldn't do nothing with Kambosos, and he got rocked, and then he didn't know what to do, and then he beat Sandor Martin, but when I put up polls all over my different social medias, it said that, and I like T.O., it said that Teofimo Lopez did not beat Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin definitely outboxed him. And then he's leaning against the ropes afterwards, saying to himself, do I still got it? I do not think it's a good idea for him to get in there with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor boxed circles around Regis Prograis, and Regis Prograis is one hell of an athlete.
Agreed. Like you said, his dad, I mean, T.O. might come a point in time. I don't know if it's going to be after this fight, Josh Taylor. We'll see how he look against Josh Taylor. If he loses against Josh Taylor, I think T.O. might have to get a new trainer. I think him, yeah, like you said, him and his daddy already been arguing. Seem like they don't seem eye to eye. T.O. last 3 fights, he hasn't even looked at like T.O. Look like T.O. from the beginning. So, and he hasn't progressed. You know, he's a young fighter, you know, but it's really he hasn't progressed after his big fights. You know, at the Lomachenko fight, he looked bad still after that. And then against Martin, that was a debatable fight, but he didn't look good. Even though Martin was on his bike most of the fight, it didn't look good. That it could have went the decision to Martin. So, but I think T.O.'s in a space right now where I think all his fights have to be kind of big, you know? So it's like, I'm not surprised that he took Josh Taylor on this fight. I mean, he got it. He wants to be great. I think he wants to show people that he's still great. He still got it. Like I said, it is a dangerous fight. I agree with you. He should have fought a couple more contenders first to get his confidence back, because after that Sandor fight, like, all his confidence gone. T.O.'s going to say he was playing mind games, which I don't believe, you know what I mean? So, but I think he's like, he has that following, and he's at that status where all his fights have to have a name on it and try to make it, you know, he wants all the big fights. So, I mean, and T.O.'s good, so he still has a shot in that fight too. So it's still a 50-50 fight.
No, I agree with you. He always got a puncher's chance, Des.
Yeah.
I just think my thing is, and I'm going to let you finish, brother. I just think my thing is like, you can't keep on having these tests where you look so and then just saying, I'm going to jump to the next best thing. I'm going to jump to the next best thing. Because then eventually somebody's going to punch your lights out, and then you're not going to be able to be, You're not gonna be able to talk that shit no more.
Exactly. That's why, and you're agreed. And like I said, this fight right here is dangerous. Like you said, if he loses this fight, he's not gonna get those big purses he's been looking for. All that back flipping and dancing, you're not going. They're not real shit. They're not gonna care about that no more if he loses this fight. You know what I mean? Because they're already thinking he's a shell of himself already. You know. So
Right.
it's a dangerous fight. I hope he put on at least a good show. I think it's gonna be a good fight though. Definitely think it's gonna be a good fight, but man, we'll see though. I hope for his sake, I hope he does come out there when it does good, because he don't seem like if he loses this, I don't think he's gonna be able to bounce back mentally. You know how you said a lot of fighters never bounce. The fighters these days don't bounce back from taking a O. They're not mentally
Nah, they
strong.
mentally weak, man.
Yeah, they're all these new fighters these days. They're most of these fighters are mentally weak, man. So if he loses against Josh Taylor, I don't think we're gonna get kind of robbed from seeing a good fighter, because his mental's not gonna be there no more. So he's gonna be a shell of a sight for the rest of his fights if he loses this fight. So, or doesn't have a good performance. So I'm just hoping for a good fight though, man.
I wish I could show these young brothers Bernard Hopkins' story and show that he didn't really get his revenge on Roy Jones Jr. till almost 20 years later.
Almost 20 years later, right?
And he had to take a lot of bullshit in them 20 years. He wasn't ranked or nothing. I really wish I could show them that how you got to overcome this shit. You know, another guy I talk about, Gabe Rosado. Gabe Rosado's got damn near 15 losses. He's still fighting top people, and he giving them hell. It's a fight, man. You can't quit. You got to fight to the end. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But go ahead, MJ.
Man, look, I know, we all as black men, we lean pro-black. That's no excuse. We won't make no excuses for that. But let me just say this: I am a boxing fan. I love boxing.
Right.
I don't care if you black, white, purple, or I don't care.
Right.
And right now, one of my favorite boxers right now is Josh Taylor.
Woo! Say it again. Say it again, MJ.
Josh Taylor is one of my favorite boxers right now, man. If you look at his last 2-3 performances, matter of fact, you mentioned this fight earlier. Go back to that Regis Prograis Josh Taylor fight and look at that fight. Bruh, this dude Josh Taylor will hit you. If Josh Taylor could hit you before the bell, if he could jump off his stool and jump across the ring and hit you, he would do it. Josh Taylor will hit you on the break. Josh Taylor will hit you after the bell. If you upright and you in front of Josh Taylor, your ass better have your hands up and be ready. Because this dude, his activity, his hands are always active. This is what I love about Josh Taylor. He's not the most athletic dude, right? But if your ass think you're going to go in there and look pretty against Josh Taylor, he going to out-hustle you.
Yes.
He going to out-punch you. Josh Taylor is one of my favorite dudes to watch right now, man, because when he gets in that ring, it's all business. I don't know if you saw that last fight he had with Jose Ramirez.
Oh no, with Ramirez. Oh yeah, because they thought Jose Ramirez was going to win. It was in front of California. No, it was in Vegas, in front of most of his fans. Robert Garcia, the trainer. The stage was set for Ramirez. Let's whoop this UK bum because Canelo always beats up on him. Yeah, keep going, MJ. Keep flowing.
Bruh, when Jose Ramirez got in that ring with Josh Taylor, he was not expecting it. You could tell he was not expecting because he got dropped. He got dropped a couple of times just off of the ref being close and him expecting the ref to break the fighters. And the ref never even came in. And Ramirez relaxed. And Josh Taylor just bodied him, pushed him off, and hit this dude with an uppercut. Bam! And then this is the other part that I like about Josh Taylor. He's a southpaw.
Yeah.
He's a lefty, right? And I'm a lefty. I don't care what sport it is. I don't care what we playing, dominoes, checkers, whatever. If you left-handed, I'm with you. And Josh Taylor, to me right now, like I said, man, he's one of the most exciting fighters that I have seen recently. And give him his props. He's undisputed.
Yeah.
Right? He's undisputed.
Yeah.
He got to give Catterall that fade back though, man. That was a tough
That's what I'm saying with Dez is like That's what I thought was funny too. MJ is, and Dez, to Dez's point, that's what I think. Josh Chiller looking at his chops like, look, I ain't got to give Catterall his fade back. This nut over here, he think he better than he is. Let me go over here and get this easy money. It ain't no rematch clause in this joint. Let me go over here, beat up on him, and if I want to, I can start over at 147. Or I can do something at 140 and it'll be some maneuvering and some BS. Unless AB can get back ranked at 140, I can do some maneuvering BS, and I really don't have no competition at 140. I already beat Regis Prograis. That's the other title. That's the other guy that's the title. So Catterall gonna have to go through Prograis. Y'all know styles make fights. Who knows if Catterall has that success against Prograis? Right. And he ain't got that. I don't think Catterall got that promotional money like Taylor do. So Catterall will probably have to fight Prograis over here in the States. And if he fights Prograis over here in the States, it ain't going to be easy for him.
It's not.
Yeah, he's going to be the odd man looking in Catterall now. Because one, Taylor has the belts. Prograis now has built a lot of following. Like a lot of people are on Prograis.
And I think Prograis got one of the belts back, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, that was a.
Who was that dude he fought? Zepeda?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
He bought Zepeda. He got one of the belts back because remember Taylor's been inactive so long. MJ, they said, "Hey, either you got to fight, or you got to drop one of them belts." And they were saying the same thing with Catterall. But he got that. He got a big promoter over there in the UK, and he also got Top Rank over here in the US. So I think Catterall just got like an average promoter over there in the UK. So it's like Josh Taylor, like, oh, bet it ain't no rematch clause. Let me go over here and get this United States money again. I done already beat Prograis. I done already beat Ramirez in the States. You know, he probably got this Floyd Mayweather talking in language in the back of his head. Let me go over here to Madison Square Garden. Let me jump on Teofimo Lopez ass, and then I'm good for a couple of years.
Yeah, man. That's why I say to me, this fight, to me, it's not about Teo. Teo got right now. He has a lot to prove.
Yeah.
So,
and his dad is not steering him in the right way, MJ. When you get whooped like that and you win one fight, okay, and then the next fight, you supposed to sit down and be like, yo, give me.
Dez laid it out. Dez told us exactly what it was. His camp, his trainer, his father, he got to go.
Yeah.
got to go. Because he can't make the adjustments. I think when he was fighting, who was that he lost to? Kambosos.
Oh, yeah, he didn't know what to do, did he?
He was telling him he was winning the fight.
When he was under pressure, his father was saying, oh, no, you good. Just knock him out. What kind of advice is that?
Exactly. I was thinking the same thing, MJ. Like even his corner advice is kind of iffy here and there. You know, it's like, yeah, it might be time for him to go, man. We'll see after this Josh Taylor fight. We'll see.
No doubt. I agree with you 100% on that, Tim. He got to get better coaching and training for sure.
And then this is another thing. Even Kambosos guy said, "Okay, I'll come over and get a rematch." He should have been like, "All right, I'm about to jump at this rematch to do this here to redeem myself." Y'all remember AB after he got beat by Maidana? AB wasn't running. He like, "No, I want my rematch." And then Floyd was like, "Nah, let me take him and do a double." Exactly. And even Maidana said himself, they said, "Who hit harder, AB or Floyd?" It was like AB hit harder.
Of course. Yeah.
So that's the thing about AB. He wanted his rematch and he wanted some more because he went in there arrogant. And I kind of knew that was going to happen to AB because he was on top of the world. And I was there, I think, in San Antonio at that time. And I wanted to tell him because I lived in Ohio before, but I wanted to tell him like, yo, this ain't Ohio, this Texas, and this dude ain't just no regular bum. This dude is from the streets of Argentina for real. And he don't give a F. Mm-hmm. So if you come in there doing all that showboat and dancing, he will clock your ass and put you down. He's not playing. And unfortunately, AB had to learn a hard lesson that time. You know, shout out to AB, man. He should be fighting this week. And I want to say shout out to Freeway, Philadelphia Freeway. It's the 20th anniversary of his classic album on Rockefeller Records. That was 20 years ago today. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all see I had to throw that in there.
Go ahead and throw that in there.
Yeah, I ain't
mad at you.
Yeah,
I had that album. I remember that album.
A classic album. You know what I mean? If I could, I meant to get a clip. I should have played that instead of the AB song on the way out. But, you know, maybe I'll play it next week. But yeah, man, it's just it's crazy, man. Well, like what both of y'all saying, it's like, dog, don't keep running your head into that damn brick wall. You not ready for prime time like that. Go get somebody that's a semi-bum but ranked in the IBF. a semi-bum, but ranked in the WBO, WBC, fight this guy who fought that guy, and practice and get better. Then build yourself up 3 or 4 fights, and don't be scared to take the pay cut of like, you know what? I'll do 300,000 this fight. I ain't tripping because I'm looking at my career in the long run. But nah.
Don't shorten your career in all these wars.
Right. But instead, and Floyd, if you really want to talk Floyd, you thought that was the thing. And I'm just sitting there like, man, all right, damn it. You're just going to keep on fighting and keep on fighting and let T. Diddy run you into the ground. And after he lose this one, he going to have to leave, probably top rank. He probably going to get with an independent promoter or something. And he's going to need to just work on his skills, his confidence, and getting good at, learn at what he's good at. And it's okay to be a 33-year-old champion because that's what B-Hop was.
Exactly. Yep.
So this was a good ass show, fellas. We've been rapping for a minute. I think we're going over an hour and 20 something. We keep going. It's a fight tonight on the Zone. Did any of y'all catch that fight on Thursday night on the Zone? I'm gonna go watch the replay in a minute.
I did. I can go watch it though. Who was the fight? Oh, we gotta talk.
Who we gotta talk? One more. Go ahead. Who we gotta talk, man?
Tank and Ryan got signed.
Yeah. Start it off. Y'all both can be more.
Yeah, we thought.
And Ali ain't here. Remember, he was one. He was like, I don't think it's gonna happen. I said, hold up.
I was telling him that.
I was like, hold up now. Go ahead.
This fight can happen,
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, it's before he would go in. Floyd's done it before. Other boxing before. Let me go get this bread and then go sit down. Go ahead. You start off, Des, and you finish.
No, you right,
MJ.
You right though, man. Like I was telling Ali last week, man. Like it's a month before he has to go. Like I think that fight's still going. And from what I was saying from all the Tank interviews, Tank is focused, man. Yeah. Tank is focused. He's been training hard to interview. He's been talking about the fights. So I had a good feeling that fight still was going to happen. Like you said, boxing's done it before. Do you know that he about to go sit down for a little minute? Do you go get this fight? Make sure go get this money for the fight. Make sure their affairs in order. Do what they got to do. And, so I had strong feelings the fight still was going to happen. But like I said, April 22nd, it's going to be a good fight. I don't know if we already talked about who we thought was going to win. I think we were unanimous. We all thought Ryan is going to not Ryan, excuse me, damn. Tank is going to win. But like I said, I think, Tank's going to win that fight, boxer, puncher. A lot of people are expecting a knockout. I ain't too sure about a knockout. Only reason is I think Ryan is going to be on his bike the most of the fight. I really think he does. When he gets in there with Tank and really see how strong Tank is, I think Ryan is going there and try to outpoint Tank. He can talk all that, I'm going to knock him out, blah, blah, blah. But he gets in there, I think Ryan's going to try to use his advantages. He's taller than Tank, longer reach. He's going to try to use that. He's going to try to keep him on the outside, try to land that fast left hand. So I don't think he's really even going to mix it up too much. I think Tank is the one that's going to have to try to find him in the later rounds and maybe try to win all points against Ryan because he might not be able to engage too much. So I think it's going to be a close fight. I think it's going to go the distance. But I'm just happy they both signed. Like we just was talking about not too long ago, these fighters not fighting. None of the big fights are getting made. But this year so far, we got a lot of big fights coming up. We got a lot of good fights and big fights coming up. So I'm just happy to see the fight coming up, man.
Let's go, MJ. You got to say something.
Yeah. I got to chime in on this topic. Des covered it pretty well. I think, when we heard Tank come out and say that this fight was made, we know that it got something to do with that court situation. Either he's trying to get it done, like Des was saying, before they hand down the verdict and the sentencing. Or it could go the other way. It could be he's trying to get this payday because he got folks to pay.
Right.
To keep his butt out of jail.
Right. So, that's why I was saying last week it makes the most sense to be like, well, shit, if he going to do it, he would. If he don't get sentenced to May 5th, why the hell would he not fight before that?
Yeah, no doubt. And then, like I say, he might need that money to grease some palms to keep him from sitting down. Because this is how it works, man. Everybody's corrupt. Everybody has a price. Yeah. So You know what I mean? If he comes up with the right numbers, perhaps you don't have to sit down. Perhaps, you know what I mean? He can just keep it moving.
Yeah.
So, you know, it remains to be seen. What we want a good boxing match. We want to see two warriors in there giving it their all, and we don't want to see no shenanigans with you running around the ring. Hopefully they be fighting in the phone booth and they won't be fighting.
Hopefully.
18-foot goddamn rings and shit. But we looking for a good fight, man. And hopefully Tank is not distracted by all this, and he can come in and he can compartmentalize and keep his out the ring situation outside. And once he steps into that ring, he can be all business, focused, and make short work of this kid. Because forgive me, but I'm just not on the Ryan Garcia bandwagon. I don't really know this cat. I don't really know the fighters that he's beaten. I haven't seen him fight enough to really assert that he's going to be able to hang with Tank.
Right, but I respect him in the fight. Go ahead, Dez. What you say?
No, I was just elaborating on MJ. He said he really doesn't know who he's beaten. I said he really hasn't beaten nobody. His resume is not really that
He's
good.
probably beat about three. He's probably beat about three notable guys.
Luke Campbell, and that's probably the best fight he's fought. Luke Campbell was the best fight he's fought. And there was two more people. He backed out of the JoJo Diaz fight. That's when everybody started giving him a hard time on social media, saying he ain't ready. Remember, he was with Canelo, and Canelo and his trainer kind of separated from him after that. Mm-hmm.
And then that was how Devin Haney ended up getting the JoJo Diaz fight.
Definitely,
yeah. So, yeah, man, it's some good stuff going up, and I'm glad I think we covered it all, fellas. Next week, there's a fight on tonight, guys, on Showtime. If y'all want to catch it, it's in Minnesota. At that armory that they use sometimes. But other than that, next week we got Figueroa back in the ring versus the guy who beat Gary Russell Jr., Masayogo or whatever. So that'll be a good fight to preview. And y'all know it's going to be a bunch of stuff that come up in boxing during the week this week that we're going to be able to cover.
Definitely. Yep.
I'll definitely catch that Showtime fight tonight because I have Showtime.
That's why I brought up that argument earlier, MJ. Like, yo, Showtime, y'all can take over the game. Y'all keep that thing at $10.99. And y'all just call it Showtime Boxing because I don't really watch it unless it's a hip-hop documentary on or boxing. Y'all keep that on. And because they don't do when Homeland was there, I could see they was killing the game with Homeland and boxing. And, that was a dope lawyer. They had Bellator. But, yeah, as of right now, Showtime keeps that price at it as it is, fellas. And $10.99, y'all can take over the game of boxing. Just be consistent.
Definitely, yeah. And we got Jake Paul and Fury this week.
Oh,
and Floyd fight.
Look, I'm about to put Daz in charge of content. I sent that.
We can talk about that. We can talk about that next week if you want, because
let's do it 2 minutes. Let's do a 2-minute wrap on it, fellas, because it's tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna text y'all and annoy both of y'all tomorrow anyway.
It's all good
when it's going on. But
let me go first on this one because I know Daz probably have more to say about this because I do not want to say the kid's name.
But hold up. Let me ask you, MJ. If he does beat Fury, Fury's family said, yo, you come from a fighting family. If you don't win, and they're a Christian family. So it was kind of funny. They said that they really hardcore in their Christian. So they like, yo, if he lose, he can stay his ass over there in Saudi Arabia. that's what they said. So I got to know, what if Fury loses, MJ?
No, look, come on, man. Look, they can't put that type of pressure on that kid. And look, this is a non-sanctioned event. You don't know what type
Hold up, this is going to piss you off. I got to cut you off one more time, MJ. This is going to piss you off. Your boy, Mauricio Suleiman, who, by the way, just cleared Conor Benn and said he could come fight in WBC sanctioned fights, said that whoever wins this fight, MJ, may get a top 10 ranking. I'm just saying, yo.
Yes, sir. WBC, yeah.
That's politics. But I just want to say this one thing, man. When it comes to that kid, we know the kid I'm talking about. You don't know what this kid is taking, man. You don't know what type of substances that this kid is ingesting to get him to look and train the way he does. That's all I want to say on this. When he comes into the sport, if he becomes sanctioned and they start doing the testing, then I'll start having respect for this kid. But until that happens, nah, you know what I mean? You can't, you know what I mean? On the eye test, it doesn't take more than the eye test for me to give this kid credibility. That's all I want to say.
I feel
All right. And what about the undercard though? You got Badu Jack fighting that dude. How do you say his name? Des. He was supposed to fight Canelo, and Canelo wanted to fight cruiserweight. That dude from Africa somewhere. I can't say his name.
I can't say his name either.
He's a good fighter, MJ. That's the one I'm worried. It's Badu Jack fighting him. You want to speak on that?
I'm not even familiar with. I know who Badu Jack is. His opponent, I'm not really familiar with his opponent.
Yeah.
But I know Badu Jack. He's been around a long time. He's got the short end of the deal. In a lot of instances, he's legit. Badu Jack is legit, no question.
Yeah.
So I would definitely be favoring Badu Jack, whoever his opponent is.
Yeah, that cruiserweight though, check him out. He's been the champion for a while though, and he fought on the zone on the Montana Love undercard, and Canelo was going to fight him, but he ended up taking the Bivol fight because Canelo wanted to be a cruiserweight champ. Some didn't go through, or some contract BS, or like they didn't get sanctioned. But go ahead, Des.
Yeah, just elaborate on the MJ. I feel you. Yeah, it's an unsanctioned fight. We don't know what type of stuff Paul got in those contracts and all that stuff. So it's like, I still look at Jake Paul as a kind of, I ain't gonna say he's a joke because he's been putting in the boxing work. I see him training and all that. But we got to talk about him because he is putting people in the seats and he is getting money out there. You know, like his fights, he's getting paid. Like he's giving boxers, he's made a lot of money in boxing already for being a YouTuber, you know, and coming in. So that's the only reason we really talking about, because he has a name in boxing now. He's made a little name for himself. But as far as that fight go, like you were saying, Tommy Fury, we talking about he's gonna have to stay there. He's not. He has to retire from boxing if he loses, and he has to change his last name. Like he can't be called Fury no more. So it's a lot of pressure on him to win, and I really it comes to that fight. I think he's going to lose. I seen Tommy Fury last fight, and he looked like an amateur out there. Even though he's supposed to be a professional boxer, he looked like an amateur out there. Jake Paul looked better in his fights than Tommy Fury looked. So
Des, why don't you just go ahead and tell them what we talked about in the text message? We can say, what we really think Tommy Fury just trying to do.
Just get a bag, yeah, and get his last swan song, get a bag. He don't really want to be a fighter.
He ain't got to worry about borrowing money from Tyson or Daddy no more.
Exactly.
He get his own.
You know, he's gonna be on his own, so he's just about to get this money. I really don't think it's gonna be a too exciting fight. I will be watching just to see, you know, the shenanigans and stuff. And Jake Paul, even though you know, he got a lot of circles around, his undercards usually do be good. The undercards fights, his undercards usually be good.
I seen the one the other day, Des. I was bored and it just came across my the Zone app, and you know what it was? It was Hakeem. It was y'all man, boy from Boston. It was Hakeem Rahman Jr. from against that football dude, Greg Hardy.
Oh, Greg Hardy.
He's been US. I watched that. He put that together, and I didn't even know that Misfits stuff.
He put that together. I did not know he put that together.
I think KSI and him, or it was either him or KSI put it together. So that's another thing. Like, we letting all these outsiders come into our sport getting money because the promoters playing this egotistical bullshit.
Right. And for the casual fans, and these fights, those promoters like Jake Paul and them, they know how to capture the casual fans. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So they're gonna pick Greg Hardy. Everybody knows Greg Hardy's stories. UFC came from
and all the people hate him and shit.
And all the people hate him. Casual fans are gonna watch it. Then you got Rodman. He just had that big old debacle with
Jake Paul.
That fight.
His dad got the name. Represent.
So it was a good fight for the casual. Like I know a lot of casual fans. But I even watched it. You know, I even watch it. Rodman from Baltimore. I'm gonna support him. Even though he's even crazy for fighting Greg Hardy. Greg Hardy, 300 plus
he
pounds.
did good, though, that first round.
He did do good, but after a while, like 300 plus pounds on you.
Yeah, that's going to put your ass down.
You know?
Like, that's like Steve Cunningham tried to fight Tyson Fury back in the day.
In fact, you're only, 215, 220. Greg Hardy running at 300, and he fight. even though Greg Hardy did just get knocked out his last fight, Greg
Hey, he
Hardy
got his ass whooped by that white boy in that bare knuckle boxing.
he just got
dude whooped his ass.
yeah, he just got knocked the fuck out. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we'll watch the fight. We don't really take Jake Paul too serious, but like I said, he said if he wins this fight, WBC will rank him. So,
and that's what pisses me off, Dez, because I heard after this he's thinking about fighting Nate Diaz at Dez, one boxing match and then one MMA match. So he ain't even really, go ahead.
Yeah, I think Jake Paul just has his lane, even though he talks about he wants to be a champion in boxing. I just think he has his lane. He's going to fight MMA guys that has a name to get money, and then he might fight a boxer that's not a real contender, like fight Rodman and stuff. But
he'll fight somebody's son, like Rockman's son.
Yeah, he'll fight an older boxer or something like that.
Or somebody's son, like if Fernando Vargas got a son and he's average, some shit like that.
Exactly, some shit like that. Somebody
Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He was terrible. Some shit like that.
So that's his lane. I don't know why they're even trying to rank this man, because it's just crazy. He hasn't put in the work, but he has his lane. He's gonna try to fight older guys or somebody that has a name that's probably less a fighter. But he's making a name of boxing. We'll check it out. We do cover all boxing, like we said, so we'll check it out. But yeah, man, it should be funny. It should be entertaining. I'm gonna say that.
Yo. Hey, bruh, fellas, beautiful show, man. We can do this for hours. We might have to do it midweek on Facebook. Who knows if I can catch both of y'all. Y'all both bring something great to the table. We'll talk about that off camera. But we going out to our beating, or what's up?
You say AB?
If they say, what we going out? I forgot the freeway, so hey.
Yeah, we go out to that. Yep.
So I beat him?
I beat him, yes, sir.
Yo, let's do it.
Okay.
I beat him. Everybody out there know I beat him. Everybody out there know I beat him. But let me talk something. Let me let y'all know. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. I beat him. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Y'all know I beat that boy. Everybody out there know I beat him. 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 I want to thank the whole hood who came out here. Y'all know I beat